Alright, so Scott Storch was just on the Joe Rogan podcast, and I've been a fan of his production for a long time, man. He was the mastermind behind so many hits in the early 2000s for people like Dr Dre, 50 Cent, Fat Joe, Beyonce, and so many more. And it got me wanting to cook up an early 2000s type beat. Plus, it's been a while since I've done one on the channel. So in this video, I'm going to be showing you exactly how to make them from scratch, including what sounds to use to get an authentic vibe, how to mix them, arrange them, and everything else you need to know. So let's get straight into it. Alright, so when it comes to making early 2000s type beats, usually I work around the BPM region of 90 to 100. I've got it set to 98 for now, but we can always change it. And to get a truly authentic sound, you want to think about what tools they were actually using during those times. For example, a really common keyboard was the Korg Triton. So I'm going to start with this to get the chord progression or the foundations down, and then we can use some other tools too. Start with a keyboard. Maybe something like this. And for the scales, I like to work in minor scales, especially for these type of beats. I usually start off with minor natural, but then I'll use certain notes to make it a harmonic scale, but I'll break that down soon. So let's just start with a C minor chord, shifting D to make it smaller. So yeah, maybe we could have that for one bar and then come down to G sharp. And I'm just trying to listen to where my ear is taking me, so I'm just hearing this. I just naturally want to go down to that note, and then we'll skip a note, skip another one. Maybe we'll bring this up. So I'm hearing it come down. Let's hear how this sounds. Could even pitch this up. But I want a bit of a darker vibe, and this is one thing that Scott Storch used to do. And he'd adjust certain notes to make it fit a harmonic scale. And for a harmonic scale, all we do is raise the 7th note in the scale. So if you look, A sharp is the 7th, but we're just going to use B instead. So in this chord, for example, we're using A sharp there. We're just going to bring this up. See what I'm saying? Just that one shift really changes the vibe. I think we could copy this again. And then maybe this time around, we could just pitch this up an octave. Hard. From here, we're just going to get the root notes. Then we'll pitch these down an octave. Next thing I'm going to do is just strum them out a bit. I'm just holding Alt and left click. Just making it a bit more natural. And then we can hit Alt and R just to randomize the velocity a bit. Might even pitch these down another octave. I only just realized I was building that melody in addictive keys. But you'll hear now when I switch it to the Triton, it's almost going to sound a little bit cheaper, but it's going to sound more authentic. Yeah, I'm preferring that. Let's try a few others. I think I like this one. This will be the first layer anyway. Alright, now I'm just hearing these chords being repeated a little bit. So I'm hearing something like this. And then one here. And I think we could bring this down. That one twice as well. I think it needs some filler notes here. Yeah, that's the one. Alright, next up I'm going to go to Arcade because it has a bank that fits perfectly for these type of beats. And it's the Passport bank. Let's go on funky flutes. I think some flutes would be good. Let's see what they got. Ooh, that's the one. See, straight away, that's that Scott Storch vibe. So we could shorten the first one. And then extend this one. See what I'm saying? This one's going to sound crazy. I think I just want to tame the reverb a bit though. For another instrument, I'm thinking some sort of plucked strings, but I want something that's a bit more playable. I'm going to stick to the Passport bank in Arcade because the quality is just really nice in here. But if we go to instruments, this will be all of the playable ones. So I think we could find something here. We could go to pluck. Let's try some of these. Like something like that could work. Another one. Yeah, maybe something like this. This is the sound I was looking for. But I'm going to turn off the delay, the reverb send. A lot of the sounds in these early 2000s beats didn't have loads of reverb and delay. That was more so on the strings, which we'll get to soon. Let's see what we could add with this. So I've just quantized that a little bit. And this will only play in one part, not all the way through. Alright, next up, in some parts of the beats, I'm going to want some strings. And especially for the hook, I'll just want like one note carrying throughout it. And then at the end of the 4 or 8 bar, we'll switch up. Let's stay in arcade, because I don't think people are using the instruments enough. We've got some really nice strings. And I just want some sustains. Let's go for these. So we could just play the root note and maybe copy it up. And then I think switch it up here. Because then at the end, I want to emphasize the bass a bit more. And then have the strings repeating those bass notes. So we'll copy these down. See if we could bring these down another octave. Maybe even stretch them out. Alright, next up, I really want to layer that flute, but because it's in arcade, we need to grab the MIDI from it. So I've sent everything to a mixer, and with the flute, I'm just going to record that into Edison. This is obviously the lazy way because we could just try and figure the notes out. But I'm going to go back to Triton, and in Plucked, I want to use this sitar. So now that we've got the flute there, we'll go to Tools, and then Convert to Score and Dump to Piano Roll. And this should send the MIDI there. So it'll give us a good starting point anyway. It's crazy. Or maybe we have that in the strings as well. Yeah, the strings at the end sound sick. Alright, next up we're going to take the bass. First we're going to copy it into the mini Moog. But I'm probably going to have a couple different basses. But this will be the first one. This one sounds crazy. More West Coast though. But we'll switch it up. Alright, we definitely need a shaker in there as well. Just add two like this. Let's copy those over. Let's just pitch it up a bit though. And with these type of beats, you just want a range of different percussive elements just sort of bouncing off each other. What we could do though is go to my Planet Drill bundle, and in the drum kit there's a whole live percussion folder. So I think these will work sick. Some cowbells, but when you're using a lot of percussion, just make sure they're tuned as well. Definitely need a bongo in there. Let's get a nice punchy kick in as well though. I know in the early 2000s the kicks weren't slapping like they do today, but I can't have weak kicks, man. Then we just got this softer one at the end. Now we can figure out the percussion. Yeah, let's get a tambourine in there. And I'm just going to layer this with a couple snares. I'm thinking this one. Let's grab something like this as well. I think just the one. And just something like this too. Actually, you know what will sound sick? If we pull up Arcade and we use some of the percussion banks. These are slept on too, you know. I don't see many people using these, but we'll just test a few. So we could use some real shakers. I've got the main bounce down, but this will just sprinkle that extra bit of sauce on top. Ooh, there we go. I think we'll take that one from this one, then just find one more. That one might be better, you know. That's mad. Now it's just got that natural groove. And if you want to try Arcade for yourself completely free and get access to all the playable instruments, the samplers, the samples, and everything else I've been using today, then just click the link in the description. And a huge shout out to Output for actually sponsoring the video. But let's get back into it. I'm hearing a vocal one shot, you know. Something like this. definitely need that vinyl scratch. And then maybe a drum fill, you know? Why not? These Planet drones just work with everything. See what I'm saying? Crazy. So with the perks, I'm just balancing them. Kind of some to the left and some to the right. Now we just got a nice full sound. So yeah, we'll get this triangle in too. The other thing is, when you're adding percussion, you can have some parts where it's kind of open as well. So for example, in this part, we could get rid of most things and then just have it like this. And then with all of the drums, except for the kick, sometimes I like to route them to the same bus. And then we could just add some reverb, switch it to plate, bring the decay down, bring the mix right down to like 5, or bring the low cut up. Yeah, just to sort them out. And then we'll copy that same reverb to the flute, but I've got this mix at about 20. With the main strings, we're just going to take out some of the lows. And then with the main keys, I'm also going to take out some of the lows, but not everything. When you cut too much of it, sometimes it can just sound a bit thin, and I want to be able to hear the bass from that piano. Alright, I've definitely got enough now, so I'm just going to do a quick structure, then I'll show you the final thing. Alright, so here's the structure, and I know it's looking crazy right now, but it's only because we have all those different percussive elements. The only things I added were some staccato strings, just with the same MIDI as the keys, and then I switched that sitar out for a lead in the verse here. But let's have a listen from the beginning. So I've got the flute down an octave here. Notice I've got a different bass for the hook too. So now we've got this verse section. Now we've got the sitar. And then the lead. I hope you're feeling this one, man. If you were, then as always, let me know in the comments. If you want to check out Output Arcade, the link's in the description. Or for more videos, just click up here.